Hello, everyone. Can everyone see and hear me? There should be a chat box on the right-hand side of your screen. Oh, I already see the first yes, yes, yes. Perfect. I hope the quality of the sound and also the video and everything is fine and you can see the presentation already on the left-hand side. Okay, perfect. Well, then I'm very happy to welcome you to my webinar today. And in general, you can, of course, always use the chat box if there's something wrong during the webinar. I guess I won't be able to react to it, but I have a few colleagues in the system that can maybe assist you with some settings if there's a problem. And of course, you're also welcome to ask questions in the chat box that I'm happy to answer right after the webinar in order not to disturb the flow of the presentation. Well, before I start the actual presentation, I would just like to reintroduce myself to you, especially to those that don't know me yet. My name is Justine, and I'm the director of Refine Asia, the dedicated MICE and luxury brand of Focus Asia. I'm based in Düsseldorf in Germany, and what I do, I basically coordinate all sales-related activities between our offices in Southeast Asia and our partners and tour operators all around the world, of course, especially in Europe, as I'm based in Germany. The Refine Asia team, the colleagues and I, as I said, we are mainly engaged with the creation of luxury offers and dedicated to the creation of tours with a little extra. And related to that, today's topic will be our beautiful 100-day for $1 million tour itinerary through Asia. Let's start. 1 second, I just click. I hope you can see the presentation in a good size. On my screen, it's a bit small, but I try to click through it as good as possible. So talking about a 100-day tour for $1 million, I guess it's kind of needless to say that this tour is, of course, a teaser. It's possible to book the tour exactly the same way as I'm going to present it to you. But it's, of course, a matter of fact that people that would have the money to spend $1 million on a holiday would probably not go for a tour off the shelf and would probably tailor-made everything according to their own tastes. And this is, of course, possible. And everything that I will present to you can be tailor-made. But for now, I just want to show you in my opinion, the ultimate luxury itinerary. And based on that, we can, of course, discuss different ways of, making it the perfect match for your guests and for your clients. But first, let's get into the tour as I have designed it together with the team. Well, the general idea is, of course, to give the guests the opportunity to step in the shoes of the great explorers. So I'm pretty sure most of you have very demanding customers that have been around the world, that have probably traveled in Asia extensively. And with this tour, we really want to give them something new and something different, although we are, of course, not reinventing the destinations. As you can hopefully see here on this map, it's a bit small, as I said. The tour covers a pretty wide range of Asian destinations. We have all our 7 Refine Asia destinations, which are Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Thailand, Indonesia, and China. And in addition to that, you see here the Indian subcontinent, as well as Singapore and Malaysia. And here I have to say these 5 destinations, like India, Nepal, Bhutan, Singapore, and Malaysia, they are not operated by Refine Asia. So here we use partner DMCs that are, our friends and business partners for a long time, and we believe that their way of operating and their quality of services equals ours. And we also believe that these destinations bear so much potential for luxury clients that it was simply a matter of fact to include them in our itinerary. Just to let you know, if we take a look into the itinerary, you can see that it starts here in Indonesia on Bali. So actually a pretty relaxed start for a tour like this. And then it moves via the Komodo Islands and Sumba Island to the mainland of Southeast Asia. And there we go from Singapore over Malaysia to Bangkok by luxury train. I'll come to that later. And then from Thailand, we basically do all the typical refined Asia destinations. So we move from Thailand to Myanmar, and we go to Laos. We move all the way through Vietnam, then Cambodia. Then we fly to Hong Kong, have a stop over there, a nice city break, before we move to the Indian subcontinent, to Rajasthan, Nepal, and we finally finish the tour in Bhutan. So we have 12 destinations in total, 100 days, as I said. And the way we created this itinerary is simply done in a way that it makes sense logistically. So in terms of flight connections, but also in terms of seasonality. So if you would, for example, start the tour in Bali in September and end the tour in Bhutan in December, it gives you the chance to experience all the destinations with pretty much the best climate conditions that you can encounter. Of course, travel dates and also the itinerary can be changed according to your client's needs. But for this particular teaser example, we have really made up our mind and tried to create a way that makes sense and is just easy possible. So now that we have taken a look into the itinerary, it's of course the big question: what would be included in this $1 million tour? What would your clients get for that much money? And actually, it's based on 2 packs. So $1 million is based on two participants, so it's not even that expensive. And of course, we have included various great services, starting with unbelievable accommodation. So needless to say that for $1 million, you get the ultimate top class of all hotels in Southeast Asia and on the Indian subcontinent. Our calculation is based on a colorful mix of some of the most luxurious hotels in each destination. They, of course, varying in terms of style and in terms of their general concept, but they all have in common that they provide the best available standards. And if you have a look on this pretty overwhelming slide, you can see actually some of the brands we are using and the hotels we have incorporated. And it's a mix. So it's really a mix of some old traditional landmark hotels like the Mandarin Oriental in Bangkok or the Marina Sands in Singapore. So really well-known properties. We have some beautiful colonial hotels like the Raffles in Phnom Penh or the Strand in Yangon. We, of course, have fantastic island hideaways, talking about brands like Six Senses, Aman, but we are also including some very local exclusive island resorts like the Nihi Sumba in Indonesia or Songsa Island Resort in Cambodia. We have palace hotels in India. We have luxury desert and jungle camps. So it's really just a nice mix of everything that the Asian continent has to offer. And of course, all the beach resorts that we have included, they are based on private pool villas. All the luxury city hotels, they are calculated based on some of the highest suite room categories. Everything is based on private butler services, club floors. So really also the best categories within the best hotels. And in my opinion, it's really just a fantastic choice. But of course, it can also be adapted. So maybe your clients prefer a certain brand, or they are maybe even members of a loyalty program. This can be considered anytime. So there's always variation in the selection of the hotels here. And it's already based on most expensive ones. So if they want another one, it's basically no problem. Apart from the accommodation, another important aspect of every luxury tour is, of course, the transportation. And also here, we are offering a wide mix of the best available transportation services. So in general, all the domestic and cross-country flights within Asia are included in business class, sometimes even in first class. And for those connections where there are no commercial services available that meet our standard, we have even included private charter planes. When it comes to the overland transportation, everything is, of course, based on the best available luxury vans to give the clients a lot of seating space and, of course, space for the luggage. And for airport pickups or shorter city tours, we use a lot of surprise transportation. So in some destinations, they get picked up by a luxury vintage car. In another one, they will get a Ferrari or a Bentley. And sometimes we even use like really traditional local means of transportation for short rides, like an ox cart or tuk-tuk. So on this slide here, you can basically see some of the different means of transportations that we are offering. Of course, we have flight seeing in helicopters, hot air balloons, seaplanes. We have funny local transportations. We also try to engage the clients in active transportation, riding a Vespa, riding a bicycle. But of course, always all the things that we have selected are always selected with the highest level of comfort and, of course, also safety in mind. So if we offer them a tuk-tuk tour, it will, of course, not be longer than half an hour. So always comfort and style comes first, but also the fun should not be neglected. And of course, we also have some overnight transportation. So as I've mentioned, the way from Singapore to Bangkok via Malaysia will actually be done in the famous Eastern Oriental Express. So the landmark luxury train in Asia. We have, of course, luxury cruises included. This one, for example, the Anvarata luxury cruise in Myanmar from Mandalay to Bagan. Colonial luxury style vessel, suite cabin, really an amazing vessel. And also even private cruises like this one. This is, for example, the Gypsy boat in Laos. So here the guests will do a Mekong cruise on a completely private base. They will have their private chef on the cruise. They can decide the stops themselves. This is really like the highest level of customization that you can get. Yeah, well, that was the transportation part. Now let's move to the next topic, which is the catering or F&B part. Also very important for every tour. And of course, this $1 million tour includes breakfasts in all of the different hotels. And apart from that, nearly every day we have at least one meal included, and actually often also two meals. So on some days it's really like full board, but on most days it's based on half board. And the key word that I'd like to mention here is destination dining. So we want to pair great food with great places, and within the tour you have several destination dinings included. Here on this list, you see some of them, actually just one example per destination, and there are much more included. Yeah, just if you have a look and read through them, we have breakfast at the rim of a volcano. We have a picnic in a bamboo forest. We have a dinner on a bamboo raft. We have a breakfast with Mount Everest views on 5,500 meters above sea level. We have a lunch under a waterfall. So it's really, really nice dining experiences. And in general, again, a nice mix of nature, scenic spots, modern spots. We go on a cable car in Singapore and let them eat while enjoying the skyline. Basically, in every destination, we have at least 2 or 3 really special destination dinings. Yeah, that's the dining part. And then, of course, the tour also includes something we call pure relaxation. And this point has actually 2 aspects to it. So first of all, it refers to the wellness practices that are so common in Asia. So as you know, Asia is really the cradle of so many wellness and healing techniques like yoga, meditation, tai chi, massages. And we've included at least one spa treatment and one special wellness activity in each of the main destinations. And in some of the regions, we even go a step further. Like, for example, in Thailand, we included a 3-day complete wellness package at the Six Senses Koh Yao Noi. So here, 3 days, they have unlimited treatments. Or in Vietnam, for example, we sent them on a wellness cruise 3 days around Halong Bay, massages included, a whirlpool in the suite, meditation, Tai Chi every morning. So everything is really centered about wellness. And the second aspect of it actually also refers to the fact that the clients should always feel comfortable and not stressed during the tour. And they should also have the freedom to step back and maybe skip an activity that has been planned because they feel like, oh, no, today they want to spend a day in the spa or extend another day at the beach. So even though we've tried to keep the itinerary as comfortable as possible, it of course involves traveling and it can be tiring sometimes. So we don't want our guests to worry about that. And whenever they want to change a day or skip the program, it shouldn't be a hassle or a problem for them. We have a dedicated tour escort with them throughout the time. Like there will be, of course, a specialist for every destination. And he will be available or she will be available 24/7 for the guests. Adapted travel plans in teamwork with our operation team. And basically, it should just every day be the most satisfying experience and the dream journey that the clients want. And they shouldn't feel obliged to do an activity if they rather want to spend a lazy day at the hotel. Well, talking about experiences, this leads me to the most important part of this tour. Which is the encounters and the actual experiences that we have included. I don't have to tell you, when it comes to the services that I've mentioned before, like the transportation, accommodation, everybody can basically book it on their own, even your clients. So they don't really need us or you for that. They can go online, they can book their 5-star hotel, they can arrange a private pickup. That's not the big deal. But what is really harder to accomplish by themselves is to fill their itinerary with life and with authentic and exciting elements. And we believe that a luxury experience is also characterized by its immersion into the local culture and by the fact that the guests will experience something that an ordinary traveler would probably not be able to experience. And authentic encounters are one of the elements that I want to stress here. So on the next slide, you can see some, we call them expert meetings and in-depth insights that are included in the tour. So the idea is basically to put the guests together with people that have a story to tell, that are really ambassadors of the culture, that can teach them something. And all these activities or meetings that you can see here, they are of course based on private base. So it's all face-to-face interactions. They can ask questions. They are encouraged to be interactive, to really participate in all those things that you can read here. And we just believe that a luxury traveler is really hard to impress. And the only way to really catch their attention and to give them something special and something extraordinary is by letting them meet with people that have a story to tell and that are interesting and that can benefit them in some way. And if you have a look on this slide here, you can see some great personalities that we have included meetings within the tour. Of course, it always also depends on their availability, and we cannot always guarantee that all of them will be available on the particular date that your clients select, but they are included in the calculation. So generally, it would not be a problem to arrange a meeting with them as long as they are in the country at that particular point of time. And just to give you like a really brief idea, this lovely lady here, for example, is Vayan. She is the traditional Balinese healer that actually plays a major role in the novel Eat, Pray and Love that you certainly know. And she even played herself in the movie adaptation with Julia Roberts. So guests can meet her on Bali and get a treatment from her. This funny guy here is Bill Bensley, a famous architect that has developed some of the most incredible hotels in Asia. Some of them are also included in the itinerary. and the guests might get the chance to have a private dinner with him in his mansion. Then a completely different experience. These three funny guys, the Moustache Brothers, they are actually a comedy trio from Myanmar, and they even got imprisoned by the government because they are quite open in their criticism of the regime, and they have their own little show, and the guests can meet them at the home of them, and enjoy a vivid interaction. This year is Francis Engelman. He is a UNESCO consultant who will take the guests on a tour through colonial Luang Prabang, and has many interesting stories to tell. Here we have Luc Nguyen. He is an Australian star chef with Vietnamese origin. He has his own TV shows, like cooking shows on, I think, US and UK TV, and also on several Asian broadcast channels. And he has a private cooking studio in Saigon, where the guests can interact with him and basically get a cooking experience with him. This year is Rehan, a photographer who's really known for his documentary style type of pictures he takes, and he has a little gallery in Hoi An that the guests can visit. Then this one is also very exciting. It's the great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi that the clients can meet in Mumbai for lunch, and basically, learn a lot about India, the past and the present, the history of his family, the history of his famous great-grandfather, and another pretty special interaction that usual customers would never get. And then here we have the Kumari, the living goddess of Nepal. The guests get a private blessing from her, and which is even probably more interesting, also meet the ex-Kumari and learn something about her life in the position of the living goddess in Nepal. So quite some impressive people that are included in this tour. But apart from those personalities, of course, we also bring the guests closer to local people in their very authentic environments, in their daily lives. Guests are encouraged to join working routines and really also interact with people that are ambassadors of different things. Like, for example, they will get to meet the Sumba tribe and engage in some rituals in Indonesia. It can be simple things like going to a flower market in Bangkok and getting a lesson in traditional flower garland making and learning all about the aspect of flowers in the Thai culture from a local lady. They will get a chance to do an actual training session with the inter boat racing teams on the Inle Lake in Myanmar. They will get a monk blessing in Cambodia in the Angkor temples, really just privately for themselves. They can help some Vietnamese farmers on the fields. This one I particularly find nice. They go out with the Dabawalas in Mumbai and will basically deliver food to office workers and get to learn the incredible concept about the food delivery system in this amazing city. They get to attend a real Indian wedding, and we've even included the wedding ceremony for themselves if they like, or the renewal of their vows, and really in a Maharaja palace with all the tam-tam and music and folklore and all the traditional performances by a priest. We let them engage with the national archery team of Bhutan in the competition. So as you can see, we have a lot of cultural experiences that really go a step beyond. Not all of them are super fancy, but all of them are really special, and you won't find them in the offers of many other competitors. And of course, next to the tons of cultural experiences, we also included some special nature experiences. And as time is running very fast, I just show you 3 of them very briefly. So in general, the idea is, of course, to bring the guests closer to the local nature, the flora and fauna of the beaten track. So to avoid the crowds, to give them really an intimate experience of the nature, without a huge impact. And for example, this one here, they will do the Komodo Island cruise on a private Aman vessel. So for 3 days, they will be on the vessel by themselves. There will be a biologist on board. There will be a private diving instructor. So they really get the in-depth, knowledgeable experience and the best level of service. So it hardly gets any more exclusive than this Komodo experience. In Thailand, another nice nature experience we have included is a private jungle trek with an elephant. And I know, elephant tours in Thailand, tricky, yes, and we usually don't promote elephant camps at all, but this is something different. So these elephants, they are really in a pure conservation camp, and there is this biologist who has created this tour together with us. There will be really one elephant per guest. They will get to know the elephant for 3 days, really just them and the elephant. And then they will head out to the jungle where a private tent will be pitched for them, really just for them. You can already see it here on the pictures. There will be, of course, the mahout with them all the time, the biologist. Then the tent will be served by a private cook. And it's just like the ultimate jungle experience that one can imagine. So yeah, really something special and definitely animal and eco-friendly. Another nice tended camp experience is the Shintamani Wild in Cambodia. It's a camp that is really focused on pure nature experiences, providing the highest level of luxury. And here it even goes that as far as the guests can join a conservation work. So they can, for example, go out with the anti-poaching patrol, or they can really join the naturalists during their activities and learn about nature conservation. So yeah, really, really in-depth nature experiences. And when we talk about all those nature activities and cultural immersion, of course, there's one keyword that is in everybody's mouth and mind, sustainability. And I'm not sure in how far your luxury clients really bother about it, but I think it is an important topic and becoming more and more important, even in the luxury world, and should therefore also find some mentioning here. And actually, I also want to be very honest with you. And I think we all agree that a 100-day tour through Asia using private planes, limousines, yachts, and so on is not really ecologically sustainable. It's just a matter of fact. But at least we try to minimize the impact by including a complete carbon offset for the tour, which we have calculated based on the whole routing. So yeah, at least we try to give something back, as we know that this is a not really ecological tour when it comes to the footprint. When it comes to the economic aspect of sustainability, I actually believe that the footprint of this tour is not really bad, as we have really included some of the best and most mindful suppliers. And by this, of course, a certain level of quality, a certain level of wages for the staff is guaranteed. And of course, we, as Refine Asia, we only work with local suppliers that follow our codes of conduct and that also treat their employees well and that give something back. And in addition to that, the tour also supports some local initiatives. So part of the money goes really to foundations like the Zumba foundations. Whenever you stay on this resort island, the local tribes get benefited by it. We have different initiatives where we support monasteries, where we support young artists within the tour. And we use suppliers that also do something good. Like, for example, in Phnom Penh, we take them to a restaurant which is completely run by blind or visually impaired people. In India, we don't just use any random rickshaws, but the pink rickshaws, which are run by a women's initiative. So we really try to be as sustainable as we can, although this tour is for sure not 100% sustainable, and it cannot be. But we try to minimize the impacts, and we believe that we benefit the local economies with the tour, and this is of course needed more than ever now with the COVID crisis. And I think a huge amount of this 1 million really stays in the destination and benefits them. Well, and talking about the benefits and also the bad word COVID that I just mentioned, we come to the last part of the presentation. And the question is if you can actually book this tour right now, and if yes, how you can book it. And here my answer is definitely yes, you can book it and you can start the planning anytime. Of course, no one can really predict how this whole COVID thing is going to develop in the next few weeks and months. But I can clearly say that although Asia was more or less the starting point of this whole pandemic, most of our destinations have managed to curb the spread, and they are all almost free of new cases. So there is a positive trend in the sense that Asia is actually less affected than many Western destinations. Moreover, it's just a matter of fact that a private luxury tour of this scale certainly holds a limited risk or lesser risk than, for example, a group SSC tour. So especially the luxury segment has really tried to do their best to create measurements and to do trainings to their staff, to the guides, to the drivers, to take the hygiene on the next level, to do crowd avoidance. So really, especially the good suppliers and the luxury hotels are on the forefront of this. And also the lockdowns within the destinations are really coming to an end, so that we feel this tour can actually be planned and also soon be operated in a safe and also in an enjoyable way. I can of course not tell you when. September of this year, like I said in the beginning, we based the quotation on the time from September to December. But to start on Bali in September, I'm not sure if this will really be possible. But at the end of this year, beginning of next year, I'm pretty confident that it should work somehow. And of course, it's questionable anyhow if you have the clients that could really do the tour like it is and have the time to be 100 days on the road. But if really tomorrow you have somebody that says, oh, this is a great tour, I want to book it, then I think it will take us about 3 weeks to get everything confirmed. And of course, now with the current situation, all the payment and cancellation terms will be very flexible. Of course, there are some parts that are a bit tricky, talking about private charters and like the cruise arrangements with Aman and so on. Usually they require deposits, which are not always refundable. But we will look at this case by case, and there are ways around it for sure. And yeah, if you want to sell the tour, feel free. We, of course, only engage in B2B selling. So it would, of course, be great if you expose the tour to your clients. And everybody who's interested to do so can basically get the content. It's, of course, there's a copyright on it. But if you ask me for it, of course, we will find an agreement to put it on your website with our texts and so on. And in exchange, you will get a 10% commission for every booking. So actually, we do all the work and you earn 100,000 like that. Of course, wishful thinking, but theoretically, it would be possible. And in any case, we can, of course, adapt everything based on your client's requirements. I'm happy to share the detailed itinerary with you. We've also created a website, like you can see here on this link. It's not completely ready yet, but in the next couple of weeks, you will find all information about the itinerary. And it's basically a tool for you to present the tour to your clients. And of course, we'll make sure that whenever a client is yours and approaches us, that the commission will still go to you. So we don't engage in B2C in that sense. And And of course, as I said, everything can be tailor-made. We have all the destinations in the tour in single offers. So, for example, if you have a luxury client that just plans the next holiday to Indonesia, you can just take the Indonesia offer and show it to them. Or you can even just select certain ideas, certain special activities and enhancements for the tour planning of a client that is really looking for something special. And everything is possible. You just need to drop us a line and let us know if there's any special requirement. And the team and I, we are really happy to assist you. And yeah, basically that's it. If you like, you can already post some questions in the chat box. If not, you can, of course, also reach me anytime via email or Skype or phone if you want to discuss how to incorporate this tour in your own marketing, or if you want to change some elements to make it even more unique for your customers. Just feel free to get in touch with me and the team anytime. So yeah, if there are some questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. Otherwise, just give me a call or mail. Okay, I already see some here. Since the itinerary can be customized, it can also be based according to work, according to your client. Right, exactly. If you tell us, okay, I have a client that would like to travel 100 days through Asia, but they only have a budget of 100,000, for example, this is not a problem. Like the whole tour can easily be scaled down by cutting out the private planes, for example, by cutting out the most expensive suite rooms. You can already like save hundreds of thousands, to be very honest with you. Okay, anything else? I don't see any other questions. Oh no, somebody's typing. Let's see. Otherwise, really, just give me a call or send an email if you want to discuss something in depth. Okay, I see many thanks. You're very welcome. And yeah, if there are no questions left, I thank you for your attention and hope that we can maybe sell one or two of these great itineraries together. Yes, website, of course, will be soon updated. It's an ongoing process and you can use it. And we can also send you all the presentations and the docs in Word, so you can put on your own logo and use it for your own sales. Okay, well, then I thank you for your attention once again, and I wish you a lovely week ahead and hope to hear from you soon. Bye-bye.